Well, ladies and gentlemen, Octane's Obsessions fans and viewers and such, well, I hope to make viewers into fans. Here we are, going on the first fishing vlog. Yes, I'm using the cool kid terminology of vlog. Heading down to Waugoula Creek, located near the ICW Central West compound here in Cowra, New South Wales. It's a really nice park. This is a rotary park, Europa Park down here. This was all underwater about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. 2021, 2022, we've had some massive floods here. You see the highway there over that bridge. This whole park and all over there, our friend's house over there was underwater. Their daughter's car got washed down, was trapped in those trees over there. Yeah, it was pretty hectic. This highway was cut off for several days. But yeah, heading down to the Waugoula Creek. It's not a well-known fishery by any means, really only carp water at this day and age. I have heard about 20 years ago people who used to live along the creek and other fishermen have caught trout out of there. I'd say that'd be rare if ever. You may even get the odd cod that would come up from the river during a flood or something, get trapped in a hole, but it's unlikely to catch either. Never seen redfin in here, but we don't get a lot of redfin in the river at this spot, like at this part of the river, in the Lachlan River, for those unaware of the main river that runs through Cowra. But here we are, some Guyam equipment and some swings and some toilets and stuff. Pretty cool little area, bike track with signs on it, camping area. During COVID, when Grandma was only allowed out to meet up with us at a public place for Christmas and the like, so we'd have Christmas and things like that with Grandma when she was only allowed out of the nursing home to public places. They were outdoors. But yeah, here we are going down to the causeway. When I was a kid, till I was about 9 years old, this was actually the highway, this little stretch of road. None of this existed. This was all just a paddock. And the highway actually came around, big S-bend, big arch bridge came over the railway tracks and then around, and there's a wooden bridge here, and this wooden bridge stayed for a little while until I was in about year 11 when I was 17 years old, and they pulled the bridge out, put this causeway in, and that's when we first discovered there was fish in here. My brother put a shrimp trap in and caught a little baby carp, and we never really tried again until the floods a couple of years ago like scoured the creek out and left pretty deep holes. And I was driving along with a mate up here and saw some carp bubbling under like a small concrete bridge on a side road off the highway. And yeah, I started fishing here, and we've done pretty well on carp. Nothing else yet. I'm tempted to come down and try with some power bait or something like that, see if we fluke a trout, or maybe some cheese for a cod or something. But yeah, either way, it's a nice little fishery, have a bit of fun, get some of the mud marlin out of the fishery. And this creek meets up with the Lachlan River not far from here. Unfortunately, it runs in above the main traffic bridge in Cowra, which means it's designated trout water, even though very little chance of trout. So it means we're not allowed to fish it between King's birthday weekend and Labor Day weekend, because it's the only like easily walkable spot that's easily walkable from my house to come fishing. If I walk all day, I can I can go down to the low level bridge over the Lachlan. But yeah, let's give this a go, see how we go with trying to catch a mud marlin, or that 0.01% of something that isn't a mud marlin. Mud marlin, for those unfamiliar with freshwater fishing in Australia, is a carp. I know other countries they're very revered, the carp, and even eaten for Christmas dinner. I think it's Turkey or somewhere they do that. Not so much here in Australia. And I have heard that the reason they taste so bad in Australia is like the bottoms of most of our waterways are mud, like sand and mud and stuff, as you can see by that, not stones and rocks and that like elsewhere. Which means, because they're a bottom feeder, they suck in the mud and everything within that mud, the worms and everything. Yeah, they're not going to taste as good here because they've got all that gunk and mud and other rubbish inside them. So I've got a little running sinker rig here. I don't know if you can see it on the footage. I'll turn a little bit of light on here. This USB lantern, very good little invention. Pretty bloody bright. Didn't bring my chair down today. I'm getting too old and too damaged from wrestling. My little fold-outable carable chair is too low for me to get in and out of comfortably. So I'll have to buy another one of those little $12 ones from Bunnings, a bit higher, and I can fit in my little wagon that I drag with me when I'm walking somewhere to go fishing. I think I've got some worms in here, got some corn as well, a little bit of cheese, but we'll see how we go. Got some insect repellent. Last couple of worms from the fishing trip I did the other day down to low level where I've got nice little carp, as some would have seen on socials. Nice little carp, first fish on my brother's, the telescopic rod my brother got me for these sort of pedestrian, these walking fishing trips. Let's see how we go. I'm new to this whole fishing video thing, but I watch my fair share of them, so hopefully I know I'm not going to be as polished as Robbie Fishing or Shroom or someone like that. Northwest Fishing Secrets over in the US, but hopefully give you something fun to watch. These worms aren't huge, but we'll see how we go. Here's this one. Got some corn too, but the only thing is, once I open that corn, I'll have to use the whole tin today, and there's probably not enough sunlight to use it today, even with the lantern. And that. Ducks, I think. Yeah, ducks, not fish jumping. Yeah, we'll get this rod out and see how we go. It's down this little causeway like a mungie. Those reeds there. These big gum trees, the roots seem to give an opportunity for nice deep holes. Like some of my favourite fishing spots, they've pulled the willows out, and yes, the willows are a pest fish, but they allowed for holes to form in the river, and I don't think they've done a good job where they've done this in places like the Waugoula. Not only have they made the river shallower and let more sun get to it, so there's more waterweed, but they have also allowed more things like blackberries. So the river is like completely unfishable. Certain stretches that used to be like the best fishing around for trout and so forth. Disappointing. Maybe long term the gum trees and that they've planted will fix that, but I don't know. I think it was short term thinking. Like usually pest trees and stuff are bad, but sometimes you've got to think of the ramifications for taking something out that's helped shape a waterway, whether it was introduced or not. And you're not just ruining it for the vegetation, you're ruining it for people and fish and animals. I saw some bait fish at the Waugoula River in Cowra the other day, and they're almost dead because between the mining, like Cadian mine, stealing all the water basically, and from Cowra Dam and the Waugoula, and car coming here. Yeah, between that and the shit vegetation being taken away and like just the whole stretch of the river being ruined, these fish were barely alive. I doubt they'll make it past that inch long sort of baby phase. So got a little bit of a some sort of, I think it's alright. I think it was just something hanging off the line. Let's see how we go. It wasn't the cast I wanted. I was too worried about that little knot thing in the line, so I'll start again. I may love my fishing, but I'm far from an expert. Little wind knot in the reel, but hopefully that'll come out. Right now, look at that. As you see, I've been fishing literally my whole life, 37 years. You can still make stupid mistakes like that, but at least not hooked, or that would look really bad. Hooked on the reeds there, on the roots, sorry. And that'll be a bad debut fishing vlog. I never claim to be a know-it-all or an expert. I just do things I like, and I hope you enjoy watching me do them. I go off that piece of vegetation. Now my hands are dirty, and there's no tap down here. That doesn't matter. I'm too old to go down and wash my hands. I'll wash them later. Still got my worm, which is good. But yeah, getting too old and buggered from 22 years of pro wrestling. It's a long leader. I don't know if it's too long, but we'll see. Yeah, there's that wind knot coming to bite me. And I'm looking like an absolute amateur. Most people would cut the camera and try and make themselves look schmick, but I'm a very honest person, as those will know. Often, those who know me personally, often to my own detriment. Yeah, that wind knot. I don't know what we're going to do about that. Yeah, we'll see. We haven't got a lot of sunlight though, so I don't think that'll cost us a fish if we catch one. And another wind knot. Well, they're not really wind knots if they're from me stuffing up. They're octane knots. Octane stuffing up knots. I'll try again. Actually, this flow here has changed a little bit, so I might try a different approach. So here we go now. We've also got to be wary of snakes. A lot of them will come down from like the railway tracks and that. trying to find a feed. I'm probably going to lose my vermin. Yeah, see, I've lost my vermin. My worm, as my grandpa used to refer to them as vermin. Right, oh no, still got him. Might actually bring my bait over here. Might get into that, getting under those roots a little bit easier. Put another vermin on. I think these are Australian. There's Nathalia Euro Nightcrawlers. I'll tell you what, I watch a lot of Robbie fishing and other Victorian fishermen on YouTube, and I want to find out how to get these jamjack worms. I know they're a lot more expensive than ours up here, but they seem to do a lot better on them than we do. There's other worms you can get up here that are better, but yeah, sometimes they're hard to come by, especially in the warmer weather. Hard to transport from interstate, and that may be all my worms. Let's see, what is this one? Ah, here's that little one. Yeah, so let's see how we go. Hopefully that knot in the line, which I think the original one might have been a wind knot, doesn't hinder us. It'd be interesting to know if these creek carp are more like Lachlan River carp, which are very finicky, hard to catch if spooked, or they're more similar to dam carp, which sort of just cruise for a feed and will take whatever you throw in front of them quite often. Because sometimes you can go in like a big body of water that's a flowing body of water. I know this isn't that, but where like won't be overly often fished, or they're less picky, and you might get a carp on something that's not a traditional carp bait. Like power bait's really only, no, it's not a great spot over there. I'll try. Yeah, power bait's really only for rainbow trout or brown trout in deep water. See how we go. I haven't got a lot of light, so I don't want to piss fart around too much. Try and get this rod holder in. These are the good rod holders you get from French's store. I don't know who designed them, but I've never seen them anywhere else like these ones. And they're really good. Never lost a rod or anything. And I find for trout fishing especially, having your rod vertical to the water is better than having it diagonally or horizontal. You hook the trout better every time. Caught a lot more trout ever since we started, my family and I, using these style of rod holders. So there we go. It's not the exact cast I wanted, but it's a small creek, so I'd say if something's going to be on, it's going to duck out and grab that hopefully. Yeah, so I'll pause the GoPro and I'll see you in the next video if there is one, if we have any action tonight.